Hello again, everybody. This is Cliff McWilliams with Corporatist Nation. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about the prospective Democratic nominee for president. That's what they're telling us. Joe Biden's the man. Well, Joe Biden is not going to be the Democratic nominee come November. It's going to be somebody else. And it's probably going to be someone inserted by the corrupt Democratic Party. Some people are talking Hillary Clinton. Wouldn't surprise me. She's as crooked as they come. And the Democratic Party has proven itself wholly undemocratic throughout this primary season as they've rigged state primary elections one after the other, exit polls telling the tale, in league with a controlled mass media there to preserve at all costs the status quo. In fact, the donor class could care less if Donald Trump remains president. They only care about stopping change. Change as embodied by Bernie Sanders' campaign and those who support him. Now, back to Joe Biden. You really think Joe Biden can go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump? Well, Sky News Australia doesn't think so, and neither do any of the medical professionals that I work with who would think that either. Joe Biden has at least stage 3 dementia. He's a frail old man in comparison to Bernie Sanders. I'd like to see him challenge Bernie Sanders to sit-ups or maybe a little pick-up basketball. It'd be laughable. And it will be laughable when, if Joe Biden were to be on a debate stage with Donald Trump. In fact, the test would be coming up here, a debate with Bernie Sanders one more time. But the protectors of this prop job, put up deal, phony election result candidate that is Joe Biden, they're really sticking to their guns and not going to allow that. Bernie Sanders needs to stay in the race at all costs. And I would submit, as I have previously, Bernie Sanders should go independent if they're going to stick some corrupt neoliberal insertee to take the place of Joe Biden when Joe Biden inevitably has some big medical event of some sort that we can only speculate upon will be concocted, etc. So let's listen to a little bit of Sky News Australia and just listen to the audio. And of course, I'll have to interject here or there because if it weren't so pathetic and really nobody really cares about Joe Biden, it would seem, that are propping him up for this, it's really sad. Of course, a snicker here or there is bound to come from this. Let's listen a little bit.
Episodes of confusion and bizarro comments are becoming all too common on the
All too common.
trail. I'm not even talking about his hair-sniffing antics.
Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday, and I want to thank you all.
Anyone could make that mistake.
Well, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I? 150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability.
Half the U.S. population.
120 million women back in the workforce.
Twice the U.S. population.
For nonviolent crime. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate.
Could have fooled me.
About Vermont in terms of the beauty of it, and what a neat town.
Anyone could make that mistake.
Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on.
No, it's the record player.
Kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts.
Unbelievable.
Think about it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by
I think it was created equal, right?
But there's more.
There's more.
Things I'm proudest of is getting passed, getting moved, getting control of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm the guy that came back after meeting with Deng Xiaoping.
Deng Xiaoping,
making the case
dead for how long?
I believe China would join if we put pressure on them. You had people like Margaret Thatcher. People like the former chairman and leader of the party in Germany. Go to Joe 3033.
Unbelievable. This guy's supposed to be president. He can't find his shoes in the morning.
Back in 2017, at a swimming pool in Delaware, where he was back, the pool was being renamed.
It only gets
in
more
his honor.
bizarre.
He gave perhaps the most bizarre.
So this is over a
speech
period of
ever
time.
by mainstream politics.
He has a history.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde.
Can't even figure out what he's talking
And the
about.
kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down.
We have to feel sorry for the Biden family here.
Come back up again.
What is Jill
They
thinking,
look at it.
allowing
I
her
learned about
husband to
roaches.
go
I
out
learned about kids jumping on
and
my lap. And I've loved
be in
kids jumping
public
on-
talking like
It's
this?
little wonder Biden's team is trying to restrict his time in front of microphones. Some of his recent speeches at rallies have been as short as 7 minutes. Meanwhile, Trump regularly talks off the cuff for 90 minutes at rallies, cracking jokes.
So
calling his
what do you
rivals,
think?
And occasionally,
Of course not. This isn't going to happen. The donor class, of course, only cares about stopping Bernie Sanders. That's it. So I talked with Joe Biden about 10 years ago for at least 45 minutes over in Orlando with the silver-haired senator from Connecticut right alongside. Joe Biden didn't have a stutter when I was talking to him, but, you know, he is a big bullshitter. He's a big bullshitter. Didn't get where he is by not helping the banking industry and the credit card industry. Why is your credit card company based in Delaware? Anyway, that's going to be determined by the insiders of the Democratic establishment. They want to get this primary so-called over with so they can put up a vice president who will then transition to the presidency as soon as they yank Joe Biden. So look for who that might be. You think Amy Klobuchar might be very attractive and draw crowds of 30,000? Wink and a nod. Hillary Clinton again? I mean, come on. Liz Warren, she's been in the news quite a bit lately. What's she playing for? I actually got a YouTube video that's out there about her talking about maybe being vice president. I'm not voting for that. What I vote for is this business continues. Bernie Sanders, your legacy, you cannot play with this and enable this and codify this fascist. We don't have a democracy. We have anything else but. And it's defined as either corporatism or fascism. It's not democracy. Because just like over in China, we're not picking the candidates. Someone's picking them for us. That's the donor class, the powers that be. I thank you very much. I hope you'll take this to heart. We are in big trouble and we need a big shakeup. And we can either do a shakeup now, get Bernie Sanders, call this out. Bernie, you got to call this out. People all over the internet are calling it out for what it is. Call it out, stand up, and because they're not going to let you do anything anyway. And crying in the Senate, yeah, you know, it's helpful to stand up, but you can do that and chew gum and fight this in a more viable and determined way by not allowing the Democratic operatives, which is just one arm of the money party. Got one party in this country, the money party. Democrats and Republicans are both playing for the same entities that want to keep control and keep things exactly the same way. Stand up, and I'm not voting for this. In fact, why vote if we can't even pick the people we want without interference from electronic voting machines, etc.? Thanks a lot. Remember, this is corporatist nation, because that's all we got. Thanks a lot.